Hey, yo, what's good? It's your boy King Haas. You live and direct. Toez Down Podcast. Y'all already know what it is, man. Whole lot of shit going on today, man. What's good, guys?
What's good? Is your girl Goddess Kia in the building?
Yeah. Shaka El Bay. We back at it. About to, talk that talk.
Yeah, I know what it is, man. We gonna give you some entertainment mixed with some truth and a little bit of knowledge to go ahead and top it off, man.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we gonna go in the entertainment part, man. The war is over. Kendrick versus Drake. The king of hip hop comes from Compton.
That sounds funny.
Yeah.
He said,
I don't know if I'm gonna say king of hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, he
That's that boy. West Side Hut. That's right.
The king of this battle.
Yeah.
I say that much.
I don't know.
I say the king of the battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know about
Don't
king of
disrespect
hip
New
hop.
York like that.
I love New York, but that's right now.
The Knicks is up right now. Don't disrespect us like that.
They gonna be shaky.
About that, they got
shaky.
they got bludgeoned yesterday.
Yeah.
Listen,
It was disrespectful.
Yeah, time is over.
But in all actuality, in their defense,
they getting beat up right now. Everybody injured.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Everybody injured. You got most of the starters, and I think 3, if not 4, of their frontline defenders. So all of the forwards,
It's over. Yeah,
is down. You know what I mean?
but Jalen Brunson is the new star in New York City right now, hands down.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and you know what? I think he would have been willing to share it with he'd have been, he's willing to share it because anybody that plays knows it's a team game and you're gonna need, you need other guys to do their part. So
Speaking of doing their part,
he can't do that.
Yeah. So how do you feel about this Kendrick thing? That's how y'all feel about Kendrick right now?
yeah, I think.
Who did their part?
Who is they?
I think
want to
Kendrick did
know
his
all
part.
parties
Yeah,
involved.
I mean,
I want to know all parties involved.
I think your man Drake thought he had him. He came back with the quickness, hit him with the overhand right, bing. Came back the next day, hit him with another overhand right, bing, bing, bing. It's like. Yeah, he was ready for him.
And then Kendrick was like, bing.
Yeah, it was finished.
It was over.
I mean, Drake came back with that final joint, but by then he was like waving the white flag. His feelings was
So what are you basing this off of? Are you basing this off of the reviews? Are you basing it off of your understanding of
basing it off of everything.
hip hop lyricists? Like what are your views about right now?
I mean, right now I feel like the kid from OVO needs to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Just focus on his like I said before, his contemporary rap music.
Contemporary rap music.
You know what I mean? Focus on
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Don't come to the Lions Den with the wolves and gorillas.
You'd have thought this nigga name was Drake G.
Yeah.
Listen.
Instead of Kenny G, his name is Drake G.
Yeah, come on. That ain't you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Leave Champagne Poppy alone, right?
Yeah, be Champagne Poppy. We want you to be Champagne Poppy.
Leave Champagne
That's all we want you to do. Don't go in this other way.
Just stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. It's hyenas and wolves over here.
Woo! Let me tell you, man.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is this. Let's look at the track record as far as when he has been in a situation, where he had to go up against another artist, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's been effective at throwing out subliminals and different things like that,
He's been effective with just that.
He's been effective in that. However, when you have someone like Kendrick, who probably, this looks like this feels like a premeditated event.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because for Kendrick to have so many joints already, already done, like he was itching.
Now that goes back to
what
I said. I mean, we're going to keep it official. He won that. But let me tell you something. This just reminds me so much of the ether. Like, make your soul burn slow. Like, it was just so
That's exactly what it was.
The words were so powerful. It was
so he got ether.
Yeah, 2.0, the 2024 version.
This is but Shaka said something that was so profound. Like, it seemed premeditated. And this goes back to what I initially said the last show. This was all put out there for the distraction of what's going on with Diddy. No Diddy.
You think so?
Along with the war that's going on, along with laws that may have passed within the last 30 days. This seems too much premeditated for us not to dig deeper and to find out what the hell is going on.
I do think it was a distraction. Because it's on CNN. Mm-hmm. It's on ABC.
A distraction.
How is CNN covering the rap battle?
Yeah. A distraction. Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith talking about it.
I still think that that there's some kind of again, it's some type of premeditation, because earlier today I just posted on social media a video of a interview with Obama, where I forget the guy's name who's interviewing, asked him and held up a picture, said Drake and Lamar Kendrick have a battle. Who are you going for? Yeah. Who?
Said Lamar Kendrick.
Yeah. Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. They have a battle. Who you going for? You know what I'm saying? So out of all the artists you could imagine, you know what I mean? And this is when Obama was in office.
So it's like 2016.
We talking even before that. It could be 2010. Remember, Obama did 2 terms.
I bet you was on The Simpsons. And
so
watch.
What happens is he asked him, and again, if you got all these different artists, you could pick any artist. You could have picked Future. You could have picked Rick Ross. Could have picked J.Cole. You could have picked all these different guys who actually got dragged into it by some form of fashion, even though they're not prominent. Mm-hmm. But he emphasized Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Well, you know what? Aren't they both distributed by the same label?
Who?
Kendrick and Drake? The distribution isn't the same label?
I'm not sure.
I know Drake is UMG, right? I don't know. I'm not sure
listen, at this point, all of these labels is
they tied in
under fucking one label anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this label buying this label, taking over that label, own this label. So it's
basically like 3 labels anyway. It's UMG, right? Is it Warner Brothers also?
This is an entrepreneur. Drake founded
Universal
the Sound Records label.
That's a production company. That's not like a label.
Right. Yeah, that's one production company. Yeah. But the record label, you got
UMG,
yeah. Universal Music Group, and I think Warner Brothers is under that.
Oh, okay. So then, but I know it's like 2 more. It's 3. It's 3 main ones, and everybody else is under those 3 big ones.
Yeah.
Like we're out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
the major ones.
Now speaking of J. Cole, do we owe J. Cole an apology?
No. I mean, J. Cole did what he was supposed to do as far as really knowing his position. He knew this was a fight he didn't really need to be in. He didn't need to be a part of this fight. It was a messy fight. It was a starter. It's like a class. It's like a lunchroom. Mm-hmm. It's like a lunchroom brawl happened, and there's 2 people that's really vying for each other. One dude's looking across the room like, "But fuck you up, nigga." Watch. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
And somebody throws something, you turned up, and they making a beeline for each other. Everybody else is trying to find shelter, get the fuck out the way. So it could have it basically could have went any which way.
I apologize.
These guys had no need to do it.
I think he saw that he probably knew in advance the way it was going, and then he with all the personal, because they said a lot of personal stuff about each other, and he probably figured him, he seemed like he riding his bike on West 4th. Plays basketball. You know what I mean? He's into his own little world.
That ain't his thing, man.
He just wants peace and tranquility. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel bad. I apologize.
He's a brother that respects the craft. He
respects the craft.
He respects the craft.
Nah, because a lot of us, came out at him like, yo, what you doing? Why you bowing out for? You soft. This, that, and third. But he saw that, this is about to go somewhere else. on the personal level that I
It ain't
don't
my
want to be
fight.
involved in.
He knew it wasn't his fight.
He knew it wasn't his fight,
He
neither,
knew
and
it
he fell
wasn't
back.
him. It wasn't him, and he had to, take a step back and go back into who he was.
He's a pure artist.
Not only that, not only was it him, but the history between him and Kendrick, it wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, they came together.
Mm-hmm.
Those brothers are going to be good later on, like a lot of other brothers do. Mend the fights that they have and get back together.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is an olive leaf. Like, you know what, bro?
You
I discovered you. I put you on. You got it. It ain't worth it. Like, do you rock out? I'm not even a part of this. I respect you on such a level because, I see you come up. You know what I'm saying? I assisted in that. I discovered you. I believed in you, and I apologize for that because I just didn't want. Well, first of all, I wasn't even into it. I'm sorry. The two of you. Were all about him bowing down. For me, I always consider him to be a good man. I consider men and women when they just own up to what they're doing and their faults and just, bow out gracefully and apologize. I think that's good.
It is what it is.
On top of, I heard he got advised to do that too, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, that's a whole other story. It is what it is. So we 10 toes down on that one. So
now you see homeboy. The situation with Drake bodyguard getting shot outside his home. You think that's just a random situation, or them people he pissed off the powers that be?
You know what?
And he trying to tell him tighten up.
In hip hop, you have what I would call collateral damage.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We got collateral damage in the game. So whether it's, because you have people who are fans, and the meaning of fan is fanatic. So therefore, you're going to be dealing with people who are really, really fanatical about their artists, about who they support.
I got questions.
Or what have you. And
when did this happen ever before where he had fans or issues with fans coming up into his property? Once again, call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to. But I am so keen on like things happening in sequence. Like I'm a patterns person. Like all of a sudden people jumping over the lawn and getting into his property during the time.
And the second person got arrested for trespassing like a couple days afterwards.
That Kendrick ate him alive. Man, listen.
Well, this is the thing too.
So the other conspiracy theorists know Kendrick didn't have nothing to do with it. Kendrick ain't, there's some other stuff going on.
Don't do that to Kendrick.
This is purely someone taking advantage of a situation or the moment. Because again, with Drake being the type of artist that he is, you, like you said, you never would have had somebody come by. But this kind of shows the vulnerability of an artist, But again, it's
touched.
all subjective because it all is in that person's mind. If they think, fuck that, I'm going over there now. You know what I'm saying?
You can have, especially in hip hop, you can have 20, 30, 40 people around you, and you know this. All it takes is one person to get under that tightrope and get close to you to knock your noodle off.
And it could be a problem.
We've seen this 1,000 times. And half the time, it'd be somebody around you that'd be one that'll go ahead and line you up, and you don't even know it. Because y'all might see, and you know this also, y'all know this also, you'll see artists with 40, 50 niggas around them, right? Half the time, they don't know all them motherfuckers. Out of the 40, 50 niggas, they might know like 10 to 15.
I was looking at Meek Mill's.
They don't know all those artists. I'm telling you from experience.
That was the question.
You know also.
Like, do he know all those guys?
Okay,
in the studio?
this nigga got access to the bud. Okay, bring him on. Yo, can I bring a couple of my people? All right, cool. Hey, yo, this nigga got the guns. Okay. He the goon. All right, yo, let me bring a couple of my guys. All right, cool. You know what I mean? All right, this nigga got access to the clubs. Okay. Bring him along. Yo, can I bring my girl? Can I bring this one? You know what I'm saying? So that's a pattern. Like, half the time, you don't know all these people.
Yeah, but that's interesting. After the Biggie and Tupac situation, I thought that we would have developed and evolved and protecting ourselves and being around people that we really and truly know.
It's devolving.
Which leads me to a question. Do you think that this beef or any other beef will get to the magnitude that it did when it came to Biggie and Tupac?
Big and Pac is different because that era was different.
Right.
And the impact was way... We didn't have social media or whatever. When I found out about Big, I found out waking up the next day to the news.
The news. Okay.
You know what I mean? And those were two giants. They on the Mount Rushmore. So it's like you can't...
Yeah, they were already established. They're popular, but they're not transcending.
They're not the heart. Yeah, they're not the heart and soul.
They're not transcendent artists.
Nowadays, unfortunately, a lot of rappers get, because of social media, we used to rappers dying all the time. So it's kind of like we almost could become desensitized to it.
That's a good way of putting it. Really desensitized to even
especially the last
the
5
level
6
of
years.
popularity a person has, because these guys are
King
known
Von,
globally,
Nipsey,
but
Testacion.
Wow.
A bunch of other guys.
Young Joe, what was his name?
Young Dolph.
You know
what I mean? A bunch of other guys.
Joe, please.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just kind of like they might have that impact in their cities, but when it comes to somebody like Pitt, like only one that had that impact on everybody was Nipsey, because that shit was just different. When Nip died, it just was.
But see, the thing is, Nipsey came about in the transition of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he really dug in and paid dues as far as gaining the respect or the rite of passage from some of the OGs in the game at that time.
And then that also, so that has a lot to do with the streets. And if that be the case, I'm hearing that Kendrick has that same impact. Because he's from,
Kendrick is a dope dude.
Definitely,
He has ties. He has ties.
I don't know if he's been in the game
his
before.
community and all of that.
Yeah.
It's just that when you are on that level, you know what? I would have said that if
I don't know
this
about
was
Drake,
if this was maybe 6 years, 7 years ago, when Kendrick had something out, when he was really, when he was like in rotation. Now, if you say this at a time when, because this is how you can really gauge it. One is how much a person's music is playing on the radio. That's one.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because that means that you are in mainstream. Two is when you have these award ceremonies that's happening, are these guys being asked to perform? Because these award ceremonies, your BET Awards, your VH1 Awards, your Grammys, all of these different award ceremonies are nothing but an elongated commercial. It's like a big promotion party.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
but
almost
that
like
doesn't really have
a convention.
anything to do with the impact that you have in the community that you came from. And because that impact is very large and you have a beef with someone else, right, that it can get
But Kendrick and Drake not going there because it's not that
it's
type
not,
situation.
Because they're not that kind of artist. Like
they're not the kind of
Kendrick.
Kendrick is tied in.
Tupac was an activist.
Listen, Kendrick.
Tupac also shot cops and doing all type of other shit. Also,
right.
Well, we don't know what Kendrick did. I don't know his upbringing. We know Kendrick, what Drake's upbringing was, but we don't know what Kendrick did.
Right.
But Kendrick don't present himself. I mean, he's a part. He's a part of that, but he don't present himself with that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't see that going that particular way. So I get what you're trying to say, but that's not that type of situation.
Okay.
Speaking of which, we're going to stay in the lane of lyrics. Lyrics being used in court against artists.
Man, listen. You know what? It becomes a problem, only due to the fact that these artists got to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers
nowadays
to be out there putting their business on wax like
This is a
anybody
new time
really
and era.
cares. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you doing it for you doing it for whatever purpose. We know how music can be, the message in music can be heard. You could send a message to somebody and they'll hear it, even though the rest of the world is rocking to it. But the person who the message is designed for will get that message.
Absolutely.
My point is,
shut the fuck up. Like
shut
the lawyer
the
said.
fuck up.
That
Do your music.
There's a lawyer, guys.
Enjoy people liking your music and get on with your life. Because I don't know, because at the end of the day, if you're giving up detailed information, I had time to think about this. If you're giving up detailed information about any situation that you was a part of or heard of or witnessed, you know what I'm saying?
I shot Johnny on 22nd Street
Then-
at 9:15
You
in
know,
the morning
you brought that on yourself.
Words
in
are
front of the
words.
corner store.
Time out. First of all, let's not forget that we had the hip hop police anyway, watching and following rappers and
since the
listening to
90s.
rappers. And it is said that what you say can be used against you. And you try to hide the words behind your artistry, but no. Listen, remember that situation that happened in Atlanta? Where they had this whole beef with the drill rapping and stuff like that, and they're saying I shot this and I shot this.
So Young Thug?
Oh no! These young ones. There was a whole situation. They was coming out there arresting everybody to drill rap. There was a whole beef. It got so bad that they were actually going out and saying who they shot. I watched the whole documentary on this.
Well, that's
in their lyrics.
and it wasn't even
But
Atlanta.
then
It was
Chicago.
Chicago, right?
Chicago.
So, with that being said, but I think in Atlanta they were like, they were
They
cracking down on
more
it.
in the trap music in
Right.
Atlanta.
It was the trap music. They were saying what they were doing. It was so hurtful. Parents were being upset about whose child got shot with this, whose child got that. And yes, they are going to use.
I'm gonna play
those
devil.
words
I'm gonna play
against
devil's
you.
advocate.
It's idiotic to me.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
It's stupid.
Cause you got some stupid motherfuckers that do stupid shit like that. But not everybody's doing that shit. Some people actually just making music.
Right.
What is the
But
majority?
so why should I think them like 75% are making music. It's the 25% that's doing
Right.
that. But
It's really not a lot of them, because a lot of them are really
unfortunately,
trying to
the
get
negative-
out of that, and they're trying to make something of themselves. Now,
Unfortunately, the negativity trumps. That's what goes viral. That's what makes the mainstream. That's what circles the internet.
But when do
that
we?
25%.
But do we keep the narrative just because people like it, or do we do something to change it?
Who is we? Who is in control of it?
the labels.
I don't even think the labels is in control of it, because if I got my phone in my hand right now and I go outside and do something stupid and I'm filming it, the label ain't got any control of that.
Let me tell you something. We gotta stop putting the blame on other shit. That right there is getting me upset. Listen, the boycott was a prime example. If every motherfucker on the whole world do not use their phone, who is in control? Us or the damn labels? We have the power. We gotta stop with the bullshit. We always gonna say the white man did this, or this person did that. We need to understand the powers that we have. This also is a false narrative that's going around the internet. That labels is doing this. Everybody shut it down. Is over.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate now, right?
Lord, you and your devil's advocate.
Some of the people that run the labels now run these entities. Like, who runs YouTube basically? Leo Cohen, right?
No.
Leo don't run YouTube now. He played a big part in YouTube.
I mean, if he do, I didn't. Yeah,
Leo he not the labels. He's like the vice. Like, he runs.
Okay, and
the point I'm trying to make is this: if y'all stop pumping the bullshit in the algorithm, people will go ahead and start doing something else. But we got a lot of young people that like. I'll give you a perfect example. Even with what I do. if I drop a link on Black History and put it out there on YouTube, it's not gonna have the same impact as if I'm talking. What we just had a conversation about Drake, right? And bing, 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 it spread like wildfire. Cause that's what the algorithm over here promotes compared to like China, right? Even with TikTok, in China they promote positive images in TikTok, right?
Is real.
But hold on. In China they promote positive images, right? Anything negative, they're not gonna let their people see, right? Mm-hmm. So we see all the negativity. I mean, it's some positive shit that comes in TikTok also, but let's keep it real. There's some weirdo shit that happens on TikTok, right? I'm just using TikTok as an example or whatever. So it's kind of like the average kid that's like 15, 16, 17, they're going to feel like, yo, I got to do this in order to go ahead and be lit now. Because this is what this society, promotes.
You're taking the blame of the parents.
What?
Hold on.
Listen.
Well, one thing that I do kind of understand is that hip hop, for all intents purposes, has always been like a monkey see, monkey do type of.
Right, but that's the culture. That's reinventing the wheel in the culture, and it wasn't something as negative as it is today.
No,
monkey see,
not.
monkey do. This person's rapping and this person rap. Oh, I like the new style he got. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or somebody changed their sneakers and cuff it up, or they spray painted green. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then somebody take it and do the same thing or bring it to the next level. Fine. But this bullshit that's happening, I don't know what the hell is going on
this
here.
Bullshit that's happening.
This is not normal.
Now it really ain't normal because
and the kids think it's normal. Like I have to keep telling my kids, I don't care what your teacher say, I don't care what you hear on the internet. This is not normal. And what normal is going by what the universe and science says. If that science, you're never going to trump the universe and you're never going to trump science. And guess what? I'm going to say God, Allah. Okay, period. I'm not going to deviate from that. So the source, the infinite supreme intelligence exists, and that's the bottom line. So whatever the hell this shit that y'all think y'all know what y'all doing is not normal.
It's not normal.
Scientific, and is not with the principles and law of nature.
But these kids don't know that. And guess what? Honestly, some of their parents don't know that. Like you know what I mean? So it's kind of like. You got social media is raising some of these kids.
I want to say something so bad.
I'm being real. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not making some of these kids are being raised by social media, literally. So now it's kind of like the social media has more influence on them. If you have the parent, if you're not there to be firm with your kid. And it might not have to do with them being bad parents. They might work all the time.
That's what I'm about to say. That's what it is. Any child that has a device in their hand, I don't care. That's mommy and daddy now. Right. I don't care if you're a conscious parent. I don't care if you don't put no lie or no perm in your hair. I don't care if you wear dashikis. I don't care if you burn incense. I don't care if you drink herbs, exercise, meditate, rap, sit in. As long as your child has the device in their hand, it's over for you. It's over for you.
That I would agree with.
Period. I don't care that if you are a billionaire and you have multiple developments.
One click will change a child's whole day.
There's a lady who is killing it in real estate. I mean, she has so much accolades in her life, and she speaks about her children and not relating to them. And it's like it's nothing to them to say, wow, my mom is a millionaire. It's nothing. They are so in tune with the internet and these devices is beyond me.
And then if you don't have somebody there to regulate that, then it's kind of like a lot of times with kids, especially once like teenage kids, they're around their friends in the school more than they around their parents. Because they go into school from 7, 8 o'clock. And then some of them might go after school. Some of them might play ball or do dance or whatever. So by the time they coming home, it might be 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock, you might get to spend an hour or two with your kid, and then your kid getting right back up and going back home the next day.
As your parent.
So if that foundation has been set from like the time they little, and then as they become teenagers and starting to explore the world, they're gonna think that okay, this is the thing to do, and yeah, of course you mean well, but if you can't be there all the time because you working, busting your ass, doing a 9 to 5 or whatever, then now it's kind of like the kid is there to wander and think that this is lit. So it's kind of like back to the music part now.
We gotta move to our
when you know what I mean. When you go ahead and think about lyrics being used against you, like sometimes we understood as kids growing up that this is entertainment. It's the difference between entertainment and this real shit.
Life.
Or even rappers that are doing certain shit, they not gonna go ahead and get in the graphic detail of certain crimes they committed. They're just talking in general statement. But then now it's like you have a younger version who they think ain't really getting money. Is I'm trying to prove I'm the toughest nigga out here now. So
yeah, and unfortunately, the way that the thing goes is, you know, the weirdest, most outrageous thing is what's catching everybody's attention. So everybody is about trying to go viral or trying to do something.
You know why? Because you're not getting attention from mommy and daddy at home. Because if mommy and daddy at home giving you proper attention, then daddy's gonna tell you when you sit down at the dinner table, yo, put that down.
That's why.
Or hey, or y'all have family time, or there'll be more structure, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like these kids are, you know, are worse than the crack baby generation, which is my generation.
They're worse than the crack.
Well,
but it's not their fault a lot of times.
But you know what? Big Brother is watching them. Big Brother.
They don't understand that, yo. When you talk, when you get on the internet talking about guns and all this other shit, that there's somebody that's watching you. That somebody that's going to go ahead and put you in. Like, shout out to K Flock, free K Flock. You know what I mean? I hope he get free, but look at him. I'm sure he thinking like, damn, I was wilding.
No, they go to jail and still don't regret it. They don't relate. They're not connected to the universe.
Now they say he turned Muslim in jail, and he been sending out little positive messages here and there or whatever. Like,
that's good.
Cause you know the boy facing a RICO, and he's 19, 20 years old.
It's unfortunate that it takes to be locked up at such a young age to transform your life. But like you said, a parent, whoever wants to conceive and have a family, you have to strongly consider where you live at, who is going to be who your children are going to be influenced by, their coaches, their doctors, their teachers, and like you have to really create your environment to win and not have no damn devices in your house. This is why I just wanted one television that we all have to share to this day in 2024, because I understand the power of that damn TV in these phones.
My dad used to call this shit the idiot box back when I was growing up. Said, boy, hey man, watch out, that idiot box will brainwash you, boy.
My father said
the television. It's like just back in the day, he said, oh, this the idiot box, they'll brainwash you.
Right, and it wasn't.
And
that
that's
we have access to this.
Right, and it was an isolated single form of programming your mind, you know, and again, gradually over time, you know, things became more and more acceptable.
But I still feel like in the case
TV.
of hip hop, before we move on to the next topic, I still feel like in the case of hip hop, still maybe 25% of them kids is actually doing that shit. The other 75% is all entertainment. So it's kind of like,
well,
y'all should judge. Don't put hip hop on trial. Judge every single individual case.
Yeah, I don't think hip hop is going to be on trial. It's right. It's just unfortunate that person
ain't no other genre, rock and roll, none of the other genres
do that with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where your lyrics be used against you. Like, look at Young Thug right now. Whether you think he did or didn't do it or whatever,
rock and roll,
you know what I mean? It's just crazy how, you know what I mean, you going through all this nonsense or whatever. But at the same time, you could say that he brought some of that on himself because certain things he was doing on social media.
When you out there and you feeling yourself, your ego gets bigger.
And your ego be willing to mess you up at the end of the day.
It gets bigger than your sound judgment on the matter, and you'll say something, do something, or provoke someone that you don't really have to, but you do it because you think you the shit at the time.
Half of those guys,
you
their
know what I'm
upbringing
saying?
wasn't well. They
You
didn't
ain't
have
the
the
shit.
guidance. Not all the time, but sometimes. And it's just unfortunate that your guidance isn't, either with OGs or the wrong people in the streets or people from jail. You know, it's really unfortunate that a lot of our children were pulled into foster care. We just all messed up.
Now it goes back to, okay, because like sometimes you see people doing dumb shit online, right? That's a fact. But as far as like the actual music itself, there's a lot of dope artists out here that's putting out a lot of dope music. But what's getting pushed is like, as far as like, you know what I mean, certain forms of hip hop, because different genres within hip hop itself. But that drill shit is getting pushed like crazy. So it's kind of like, is it the label? Is it on the label to regulate stuff like this more, or is this on the artist to go ahead and?
The record label
trying to do what they do.
The record label spend millions on making sure that they can be in control of the narrative. But I can't express enough that it's more of us and less than them. And if we understood the powers of coming together collectively and doing something, it would be over for them. This is why they spend the millions, to make sure that we're divided, we're dumb as hell, and that we don't move together in unison. Because, I mean, it just won't happen. Just imagine. We still don't have a union in hip-hop. Listen, just imagine, like, honestly, if
how active stuff
said nobody's making. Just imagine if all the artists said nobody ain't making no music. Nobody ain't making. Just what do you think would happen if just no? They
had to give us what we wanted.
No, like honestly, like if everybody said,
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because you always got habitual line steppers.
That's a fact.
Saying?
No.
And to the last topic of the day, we're gonna go ahead and give y'all some information on the IRS robbing your ass blind.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think that they're kind of stretching it a little bit on how they're doing things and some of their tactics, because it's borderlining on invasion of privacy.
Which is unlawful.
Which is very unlawful. So, you know, one thing is they saying that the IRS is using AI to prevent people from beating the tax system. So what does, you know, because I got a whole different kind of thought.
So basically they use AI to rob niggas.
Man, they got me messed up.
They use
break it down for me. You know I ain't the smart person in the world.
Questions, man.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of mathematical equations based off of that, but go ahead. They got me messed up.
All right, so it says in September 2023, the Internal Revenue Service announced that it was using AI to help the IRS compliance teams better detect tax cheating, identifying emerging compliance threats, and improve case selection tools. I think that is a fancy way of saying we're going to be all up in your business, all up in your pocket, and if the math ain't mathing, then you're gonna have to be held accountable for what's going on. Because I mean, think about it in a manner of speaking, where if you have if everything went crypto, just think about that for a minute, because now they're tracking every single transaction of every single person at every single time under any and every single circumstance, unless you're still operating with the cash system. You know what I'm saying? Cash to me is always going to be king, but cash has a certain use that a lot of us really misrepresent, or a lot of us misunderstand. That being said, that's a whole nother matter. The IRS will be able to really count your pockets. That's what they doing.
Listen,
they tracking everything.
Since 1862, when the IRS was all started, okay, they've been counting our pockets then, all right? First, it was the churches with the 10%. Since 1862, miss me with that BS, okay? That this is some bullshit. They've been ordering us since fucking the Roman times, okay? Since AD, BC, before Christ, after Christ, before his mama and everybody, all right? This is some bullshit. Let me tell you, this is, okay, AKA, they're not going to be having everybody working at the IRS.
Let it go.
AKA, going to be fucking up everybody checks, all right? Excuse me, kids. AKA, getting all into your business,
fuck
all
these
right?
kids,
And then AKA, is this going to be all messed up?
AKA,
to the point
you
where
niggas is ass the fuck out.
All right? So this is what it is, because guess what? Trump was good at them IRS codes, all right? He was good at them.
Good old Agent Orange.
And that's what it is. And because we're
we're
up on game, we know how to create these businesses. We know how to get these LLCs. We know how to go and get this business credit. We know how to get our accounts receivable. We know how to conduct this business the way they doing it on a larger scale. We know how to come together and get these express trusts. We know all of this stuff that's happening. Now all of a sudden they want to use AI. Miss me with the BS. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you guys right now.
What?
If you don't get your trust, if you don't set up your stuff
I'm
properly,
listening. Tell
all right?
Tell them.
I'm telling you, set up your shit properly, all right? Stop being jealous and stop everybody got to be the chief with no Indians, all right? Come together collectively and get your stuff done. We about to have a whole damn webinar about this, because let me tell you, I'm going to break it down. I'm just going to give this gem.
Go ahead. Drop it. Drop it on.
They earned it.
All right, Forbes, all right, and this is going to be on my webinar. Forbes has a whole graph about how you can become the 1%. Do you know in the United States that you only need $5 million to be a part of the 1%? The 1% of everybody controlling $5 million, not even billions. So I'm gonna break the math down to you. All right, if you had a product that you were selling for $250, you would only need to sell 12 of those for a day. 12 of those a day is going to give you $3,000. All right, that's going to give you $3,000 a day, and then you can make $90,000 in a month. And $90,000 in a month times 12 months, you can make $1,080,000. Okay, $800,000. That is the math. You are a millionaire within 1 year by selling 12 products. You could rent out something from Airbnb. You can freaking rent out these kicks, $250. You can tell your mans, yo, get these kicks, sell them for $350. Only give me $250. Do this 12 times for the freaking day to make $3,000. And from $3,000, you do make $90,000 in a month. And $90,000 a month times 12 months equals a freaking you get 1 million in that fast.
1.8.
Then you take that million. And you don't spend the million. You go to the bank and use it as collateral and say, now I want another million. And you do that in 3 banks, and now all of a sudden you part of the 1%. Listen, y'all playing around. The IRS is trying to prevent us from being millionaires, and it's just so easy. The math is not mathing here.
No, it's not.
We are millionaires already. Stop with the bullshit.
Now,
They're
I'm gonna be honest.
To cut us out.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get half of that. I got the first half of that. So let them know when the seminar is, so I could be at the seminar. So that way I could go ahead and have a book and pen and write everything down. So that way I could get this thing down packed the right way.
And let me tell you something. If you don't want to be a millionaire, all right, if this ain't for you, if you're not willing to come with 4, you only need 4 people. I just said you can sell 12 products for $250.
Tell them.
If it's overwhelming to you, you come up with 4 people. Ray on the corner, your trustworthy father that he's a black Jew. He never spent nothing to begin with. Like everybody hates Chris and his dad. Your upcoming son who's 18 years old, been watching the internet, and that's 4 people. So that means that 4 of y'all only have to sell 3 products for $250, and you become a millionaire this year.
If you can't get it right, you can work for us.
Listen, so if you don't want to be a part of the team that I'm creating to make sure that
we need workers,
because IRS, all right, is on the news. This is not no blog. This ain't no pretend or make believe. They already have AI. If you don't want to be a part of this, don't buy it. I don't want you to buy it. I don't want to be around anybody or everybody want to be the chief.
Nah, we want you to buy it. We want your money.
There's going to be a whole lot of broke chiefs.
Don't come
You
to
can either
the
be,
webinar.
You can
I
either
don't
be
need you.
a
Once you
broke
pay, that's
chief,
I'm going to get this million.
or you can be
That's right.
a
And she gonna help me
wealthy
get mine.
Indian.
That's right.
The broke chief or wealthy Indian.
You're like, listen,
And that you got time to decide, because the workshop, the legacy workshop, is on June 1st.
And what information for
Now,
y'all?
yeah, any and all information can be found on shaka8k.com. There's a tab for it, and the
Read.
flyer will explain
Everything's right there.
everything that is being offered.
Go to the website.
You know what I mean? So
Handle your
there's
business.
really no excuse. There's really no excuse. You know what I mean? There's opportunity and ways for us to do something a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
change the narrative, and kind of push.
Listen, they
push
teach
the
you
needle
how
on
to
the
get
culture
money.
a little bit.
They teach you how to get money. So if you trying to get some money, y'all need to rock with this webinar. Y'all know the information. Pay the fee. Y'all pay the fees for your Jordans. Y'all pay the fees for the bottle of Henny. Y'all pay the fees for your bud and all this other shit. Pay this fee to go ahead and get paid. Stop working that slave 9 to 5 and work for your motherfucking self.
that's it.
That's
With
a
your
fact.
family.
That on that note,
And we 10 toes down on that.
Let's stop on this, y'all. 10 toes down.
10 toes down. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy King Haas. We live and direct. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's get it.
All
Bam.
right.
Yeah, the IRS is really coming.
Yeah.
Well, she got hot.
Are you saying piss real quick?